Austin. He thought I wanted justice. He thought I cared. What I wanted was my grandmother's necklace. The Star of Wisova. 6 generations of Vais wore it. Smuggled from Ikaz in a corset lined with blood. Gone when Carthag went up in flame. Austin saw the tears. He thought they meant something, so he gave me his truth like it was a gift. I didn't betray him. Not in the end. I kept his secret and lost the necklace anyway. Even if I'd held it again, it wouldn't bring back the ballroom, or the music, or the dancers. You can't ransom ghosts. And gods be damned, the dead never write thank you notes.
Report on the deep desert. Murderous noise. Cargo is signal. What kind of high value? Let me see it. Yes, I recognize some of these names. Tell me what you see. Interesting. What makes you say that? I see. Anything else? If it were obvious, you wouldn't be asking. The answer's buried. Figuratively and literally. Possibly, but everyone's always angling for something. It doesn't mean it's worth chasing. Anything. Coincidentally, I have a seat at a banquet with Phaedra Vi, and several others listed on that manifest. I'll gather what I can there. You go back to Phaedra's apartment. That note might be our next key. Read it. What did it say? Ah, subtle as ever. She's leaving you a memory dressed as a riddle. What do you need help with? Did you see Phaedra? Read it. What did it say? Ah, subtle as ever. She's not subtle. Find the picture. She's telling you where the lock is, or the key. Congratulations. You've graduated from aimless rummaging to actual investigation. There aren't many once great cities around here, are there? I assume you can guess what city she's talking about. Only one city fits. Old Carthage, of course. And if I'm not mistaken, you've already stumbled over the answer. Just didn't realize it was a question. Think back. Year of the Fall. Lathe marked it in the margins of his schematic. 10-194. The year the old city died. I don't know exactly what she meant you to find. but this feels like something carved, not scribbled.
That will remove the blood of their dead to make water.
Mother.
Open your eyes, my son!
I wasn't wasn't going to tell you, but thanks to your Fremen hero, we're test firing a long-throw Cutteray auger today with an ungraded barrel.
Is that dangerous?
Only if the phase differential is off by more than 0.0003.
Stefan, you can't.
Because, Mother...
I've been trying to say this for weeks. Carthag, you want the truth? I was hired to fix a problem, quietly. A man, high voice, long shadow, wanted something buried. No noise, no survivors. I helped him, mapped fault lines, tuned resonance, knew exactly what would happen. They paid me, gave me a new collar, a title I never earned. Carthag fell. You've seen Ash. But I laid the tracks. When the train came, I looked away. The nightmares aren't fire or screams, they're silence. That moment before, I could have said no. Now it's inside me. The rot. I drink, I work, I don't sleep. Take this, sell it, burn it. Just remember someone knew, even if I don't tomorrow. The two men say first silence, then dust, then wings in the dark. I used to think it was poetry. Now, it feels like a countdown.
Brought to you by the generous patronage of the Padishah Emperor and the tireless support of the Spice Miners Fellowship and the Leisure Committee. And now, it's time to dim the lights and return with us to those fateful days before catastrophe came calling. It's part 1 of 5 Days at Carthage.
The Imperial Scenarist Guild has been provided unfettered access to the sealed records and testimonies of those who survived the Carthag incident. The following dramatization represents the official truth, as judged and signed by the Imperial Chamber Court and Audit Council.
So let us journey them to the burning sands of Arrakis, a desert planet in a far-flung corner of the known universe. The year is 10-1-94, and the war of assassins between House Atreides and their ancient enemy House Harkonnen is well underway. Our tale unfolds in the teeming industrial sprawl of Carthage, the seat of Harkonnen power on Arrakis. It's early morning in the Peon Quarter, as the workers ready themselves for a long day of toil in their baron's name.
Come to tea, Devon. You'll be late again.
Only tea? Is there no more bread?
What bread remains I'm keeping for dinner? You've had your fill.
I told you before, Mother. I won't be home for dinner tonight, or anytime soon. We're on double shift until further notice. Oh, don't give me that look. You know I have no say in the matter. And they are cracking down on anyone who gives even the slightest trouble. Ulfhim's cousin disappeared. They say he was an agitator, but no one can say what he did.
Your father said this day would come. When peons would be no better than Mawla.
That's crazy, Father. We have the Peon's compact.
To hell with the compact. Do they expect you to work as a machine? Never resting.
Mother, watch what you say. You know they listen. Please. Let's just say the words and have our tea.
The words. Can't. Too angry.
But, Mother, we happily say the words every morning.
Fine. We live by our baron's leave. The roof above our heads belongs to him. Permits us to dwell in his domain, and in return, we pledge our eternal loyalty, obedience, and maximal effort. With an eye towards efficiency.
Long live the Baron. sorry, Mother, but if you must blame someone, blame Zantara. His most recent attack destroyed our last phased ion refinery in the northern precinct. Fremen bastard.
Hey, your father had Fremen blood on his mother's side. It's a blessing he didn't live to see what happened to them.
I say good riddance. It said they practiced cannibalism.
Don't be a fool, Devon. Those are all Imperial lies. It's well known that the Ikwan Vid will remove the blood of their dead to make water.
Mother.
Open your eyes, my son!
I wasn't going to tell you, but thanks to your Fremen...
Oh, hey there, friend. Looking for anything special? Oh, hey there, friend. That's not normally a good eye trade-in. I'm more hands and I've got lots of customers, each with their own... That's unfortunate. I shouldn't say. It's not good business. It's not safe. All right. The lady was obsessed with her ancestral jewels, which I guess she particularly yearned for a necklace, the Star of Wisova. Turns out an enterprising scavenger, so Phaedra hatched some kind of scheme to get up the money to reacquire the necklace. I knew she was scheming up something to put together the scratch she'd need to get that necklace she obsessed over. No. Damn, I've got an answer, but you aren't going to like it. Phaedra was part of a little cabal who collectively had a stash of treasure they took out of old Carthag before it blew. Phaedra was making desperate trades to get the funds to retrieve her ancestral necklace. Well, anything could happen in that nest of covetous snakes. As for that person listed on the manifest, the Overseer, that is Sub-Prefect Tours. He's overseeing that group. Not the sort of thing you spill over afternoon tea, is it? I suppose you'll be catching up with him then and leaving in a hurry, huh?
That's not your door to open, stranger. Push it, and you'll find I'm harder to move than most. And by order of the Emperor, I'm telling you to slow your gallop. There's nothing for you inside. I am the Sheriff of Arakeen, and the only uniform I wear is this sword and belt. Of course, you're welcome to test whether I'm dressed for the job or not. I found my reputation and steel tend to speak louder than epaulets. All due respect, but unless you can raise the dead, your timeline has just become flexible. We've got one survivor, technically. Old bird's flapping her wings on the way down, but she'll land soon enough. Tours? Now there's a theory. Got anything to go with that, or are we just throwing darts in the dark? Normally I'd say this is above your pay grade, but frankly I could use a second set of eyes. And if you already know some of these silk-wrapped corpses, all the better. Good. That saves us a few hours of corpse roulette. A few of these poor fools I already recognize by build or reputation. The rest you and your list can help with. It's my job to know who's whispering in the shadows. This crew kept to themselves. Rich, quiet, and just strange enough to raise my interest. I've had files on half of them since they landed. I mean, they didn't dine with the Atreides, didn't show up in the salons, and never hosted anyone outside their circle. Came down on private carriers, quiet ones. No welcome party, no flag waving. When nobles start behaving like spies, I start watching like one. These little gatherings weren't new. Masquerades are not. Same crowd, same vices. Wine, secrets, and shouting matches dressed up as witty banter. Masks just gave them an excuse to say the quiet parts out loud. They never shouted about spice or power. It was always the desert. Who knew what? Who had the map? Who owed something? Sounded more like a treasure hunt than a banquet. All I know is they were tight-lipped going out, and even tighter coming back. Anyhow, enough jawing. Let me get a look at that guest list. I'll match it with my data and cut through some guesswork. Appreciate it. Now I'll play scribe. You go play confessor. The old bird is waiting. Call her Countess if you like. I call her the last shriveled thorn on a dead branch. Sharp tongue, sharper memory. Don't be fooled by the frailty. She can still draw blood with a whisper. The butler saw things. Doesn't rattle easy. You do well to speak with him before the details slip through the cracks. See what the butler and the old hawk have to say. After that, come find me. I'll be the one holding this city together.
Do forgive the mess. They died as they lived, loudly and with abysmal table manners. butler to the late lordlings of this doomed affair. My talents include wine pairing, corpse counting, and feigning deference. It began as a toast, ended as a cautionary tale. You may pick whichever part offends you the least. It's simple. Wine was poured, conversation flowed. Then, so did the convulsions. You will forgive my impertinence for pointing out there is a noble here who still draws breath. And her breath. It would behoove you to speak with her while you can. I shall remain here.
Oh, splendid. An audience. I was beginning to worry I'd die without one. Countess? Did you just address me as Countess? Yes, well, to a dung beetle, every jewel is just another rock to roll in shit. I am a Marchioness, you sand-scuffed mistake. Address me properly, or go grovel at the feet of some baroness who breeds pugs. Good. We may proceed with the fiction that you were raised by humans instead of livestock. I was Eulalia Hawthorne, Marchioness, Patroness, and now I'm just the ghost of better parties and worse decisions. No, but whoever it was deserves a medal for culling the herd of Tors. No, thank the stars. Another bureaucrat sniffing around. Hands off, you clod! You'll tear my face away. No, I'm still wearing it because it goes with my dress. Of course it's stuck. There are tiny barbed claws secreted within the mask. I saw Una Byrne try to remove it, and half her face came away before she fainted. Idiot. The wine merely opened the door. But it was the masks that let death inside. Poison in the wine, poison in the mask. One to loosen the soul, one to pierce it. A double dose for double crossers. Leave the mask alone. Because betrayal is their native tongue, dear. I watched them turn coats faster than courtiers shed morals. First for survival, then for sport. Let's just say, when money and memory are tied to the same grave, the living tend to grow fangs. By all means, prolong my suffering with your no one worth the effort. Just a pack of maulers fighting over my ruin. They'll whisper sweet poison behind my back, like always. At least death saves me from their petty scheming. What happened? Fashion suicide, mainly. Graf Vero died smiling, the fool. Spilled his wine and his wit in equal measure. I do admire a man who keeps his mask on while choking. With one of those ghastly little speeches nobles make when they think they're clever. Then came the toast. Then came the horror. This I remember with perfect clarity. She said it with that awful snark of hers, like she's been waiting years to raise the glass. She said, "To ghosts and ash, to the flames we escaped when we should have burned. Every breath since has been stolen, and tonight the debt is due." Hard to forget a toast that theatrical, and not just because it was the last thing I ever drank. I wasn't really listening. Phaedra has a habit of mistaking volume for substance. And I've spent decades letting that woman drone on about guilt and ghosts. I didn't think this time would be different. Our dear hostess Phaedra, and I do mean dear, given what it cost her. Dead, did you say? But the Toastmaster strutted around with her voice and mask like she owned the place. Typical Phaedra. Can't even die without making herself the center of attention. Bitch. Graf Ansel Vero. A bloated tick in a borrowed title. He died as he lived. Loud, ridiculous, and surrounded by people pretending to like him. Blue. A coward's color. Fitting, really. He always did flee when anything required a spine. Or pats. Turns out my precious toxin modulator works. Slows the venom, preserves the drama. I'll die last, bloated with envy and resentment. Just how they'd want me. Oh, do not ruin this for me. I want to die with some shred of mystery, not flanked by bumbling concern. One last kindness, dear. My Mola. Kill them all. They'll spend my death pawing through jewelry and gossiping in the kitchen if you don't. It's a tradition, you know. The servants die with the mistress. Mostly forgotten now, but I rather like it. Please, kill the little wretches. Choke the life out of them before they sell my underthings for drink. By the time your little report makes its rounds, the rats will have nested in my wardrobe, or perhaps they'll read it at my memorial, just after the appetizers.
Let's have it. Spit it out. I make it my business to know which flavor of aristocrat is stinking up. Most of them never set foot outside their compounds, but I keep a ledger. Helps to know who drinks what when they start dropping dead. Spit it out. It's more his beef with me. Or my kind, more specifically. Tor's his old blood. Thinks blue veins and powdered wigs entitle him to obedience. I'm town Fremen, born and scarred. He sees that as an affront, calls me that Fremen thug. I call him what he is, a dried-out bigot in brocade. We make it work. Spit it out. Only by reputation, which is to say, scandal, disgrace, and the talent for ruining dinner. Heard she once tried to sue an entire planet for being vulgar. That about paints the picture. Spit it out. Know him? Sure. Drunk with a martyr complex. And a reading list that's... I dragged him out of gutters more times than I care to count. And left him there once or twice, too. No blood or teeth marks. Good. Consider yourself formally initiated, and she talked to you, didn't she? That's more than most get. See, that's where you got it twisted. That woman's got venom for blood, and a title where her heart should be. She talked, 'cause you annoyed her. Snapped her right out of that death spiral by reminding her just how much she hates lizard-browed provincials like us. Call it a success. You woke up the part of her brain still capable of sneering. The question is, did you learn anything? Well, that's a wrinkle. Did the old bird say what color mask he was wearing? Back where I'm from, yellow marks a coward. But nobility tends to mistake fear for wisdom and wear it like gold. So find the wine stain next to a blue mask and you found our graph. We can work backwards from there. Of course he did. Might want to run that scanner of yours. Find out where the wine hit the floor. Then we'll have our starting point. While you're at it, wave that fancy poison sniffer of yours around. If it starts screaming, sort out where the graph ended up. Then we'll talk. Let's have it. Spit it out. Let's have it. That scanner's smarter than... Let's have it. Let's hear it. That doesn't track. Better look again.
Oh joy, you've returned. Ah, just when the silence was beginning to heal. Where do they come from? Same place as the lies they're meant to hide. Born in the rotting vanity of those masks are just another way to pretend nobility isn't it? No, I don't. Forgive me. My training prioritized service over tracing the costume. Just when the silence was beginning to... If it reeks of desperation and mild opium, it likely belonged to the lady in the olive mask. She fancied herself mysterious. Mostly. She was mid-squabble with the one in red. Something about inheritance or infidelity or seating arrangements. Hard to tell with that set. She dropped it in the fray. I made no effort to return it. Just when the silence... Oh joy, you've returned. Nothing in this vast universe would please me more than to... While I was in the room diligently pouring wine just prior, I'm afraid I was away. I was checking on the status of the soon-to-be-served meal. You do understand my station, don't you? I was present for work, not leisure. Nothing in this vast universe would please me more than... Pains me to point out the obvious to one of such cunning, but I was too busy performing my duties to note the ingress and egress of each guest. I was instructed to set the table and pour the wine for that amount of guests, and I did so. I did not. Nothing in this vast universe. I'm afraid I do not know of whom you speak. I certainly was not instructed to care about... Oh joy, you've returned. Just when the silence was beginning to heat. While I don't know the specific name attached to that handkerchief, I do recall there was more than one name fitting those initials on the guest list. In any case, someone waved the handkerchief in question dramatically about while arguing over whose knowledge of wine vintages was supreme. Nothing else comes to mind, save that the handkerchief in question carried a distinct perfume, sweet if cloying. Nothing in this vast universe pains me. I was...
Let's have it. Spit it out. Let's have it. That scanner's smarter than half the nobles in this room. Put it to work before someone steps on the evidence.
Oh joy, you've returned. Ah, just when the silence was beginning to heal.
Let's have it. Let's hear it. That doesn't track. Let's have it. Let's hear it. That doesn't track. Better look again. Let's have it. Let's have it. Let's hear it. First prize to the junior investigator. That fits the evidence. A can of pressed slig. It's good on toast. 5 cans of pressed slig. The man chose his agent well. Always does, though. Got an eye for talent, that one. Well, meanwhile, I came up with 2 names of my own. 8 masked assholes dead on the floor. Drank their guilt, now they'll sin no more. Haven't had the pleasure yet today. Speak to Theophilus about Agade Yamari. That's what the note says. I suggest you find out what our buttoned-up friend knows before he forgets. Our resident astronomia-trained butler, Theophilus. You know, I heard a funny story about that school. Makes the best of the best servants, they say. But I heard in their final year, the students are paired off in twos and taught to observe each other obsessively. One of them graduates, the other disappears. It's never explained which is which.
Oh joy, you've returned. She was prone to a serious allergic reaction to a species of plant in our flower arrangement. She wished to sit as far away from it as possible. A common reaction to that particular flower. The wealthy chose aesthetic over practicality or safety. It's a wonder we can keep any of them alive. Alas, nothing pains me more than being unable to do your job for you. But I do not recall. I merely changed her seating arrangement prior to the gap. I regret to say that the seating arrangement was the casualty of a wine spilling incident by someone already deep in their cups. Oh joy, you've returned. Ah, just when the silence was beginning to heal. The man in the sapphire mask believed he could hold court and chalice at the same time. He could not. I cleaned it. One more servant to fix what reading fails to teach. He dropped his wine while gesturing about bloodlines, as if his own hadn't already curdled. The wine came out. The stupidity did not. Nothing in this pain. I was... Oh joy, you've returned. Ah, just when the silence was
Let's have it. Then let's have it. No, that's not right. Let's have it. Then let's have it. I'd say it's more of a Zaffrey violet, but that seems to align with my conclusion. I figured out one more. That snooper thing of yours chirped like it knows something? Well done, friend. While you were nosing around, I confirmed that the caskets themselves were not poisoned, meaning... doubtful. But we can't rule it out. Someone spiked the goods on site. Turns out the wine was arranged by a man named Ambrose Lucifera. Fancy name for a glorified errand boy. I had him dragged in. Now's the time to go poke holes in his story.
Please do me the courtesy of telling me why I am being detained. What's the charge? Supplying wine to a... Oh, balderdash, this is becoming intolerable. You've turned a juicy murder... Who did you say was murdered? Well, now, see here. I merely arranged for the wine to be delivered. Everyone knows I have a knack for finding the best. Oh, well, there you have it. I took no involvement in their glassware, merely in arranging for the reception of a rare vintage from the planet of Grenbel, home of the exquisite Maros deer. A libation so fine, even the most... Why, yes, any of the staff of the Seleucid Bull, as well as a few of the regulars, can attest to my presence. Oh, goody, goody. With that unpleasantness, he's what some call a town fremen. Impeccable service, a full purple-gloved Still, he harbors a certain intensity behind his eye. Those of my status often ignore the help in their complexities. I do not make the... Well, I'm afraid I missed that slice of gossip, though it sounds delicious. Knowing nothing else, it leads me to one conclusion. If such a hoard exists, someone in old Carthage had prior warning to give them the time to gather such treasures and safely evacuate them. An intriguing notion. And now we are back to a morbidly fun game. Proceed. Could you be more specific on the colors of the pattern? That would be Lady Eulalia, voice like grinding rusty metal, but fancied herself a preeminent singer, with few in a position. Many were the laborious recitals we sat through. Still, she made an impression. Before you go, I did pass on a note to one of the guests. You'd have to ask Theopolis about the recipient. Roella Ramsby. She inquired about a particular vintage of wine, feigning expertise, but that
Let's have it. Very good. Was he still crying? Go on. Good. We don't have an ID yet for her. Prod the butler again. He's got more gossips.
Oh joy, you've returned. That name does not mean anything to me, but I will endeavor to answer as best. On behalf of whom? Ah, yes, the drunken peacock. The man dresses like a walking dessert tray and talks like he's auditioning for a play no one asked for. What would you call him? Now that you mention it, I did. The recipient was a woman wearing a terracotta-colored mask. Correct. Afraid so. Oh joy, you've returned. Congratulations. Forgive me, but I wasn't conducting a limb census between courses. She did linger rather tenderly on the frieze near the dining table. But then touching things that don't belong to them is a long-standing pastime of the wealthy. I can say that I did not much care for that behavior. I had polished that brass for hours. Now I shall have to spend hours more wiping away the fingerprints, after the cadavers. Oh joy, you've...
Let's have it. All right, let's hear what you've turned up. Yes, that fits. Another off the list. Let's see here. If Ruella Ramsby was there, that means the other terracotta has to be two masked assholes dead on the floor. Guess the toast hit harder than they bargained for. Calm yourself. We'll get there soon enough. Gotta build suspense. One of the remaining two guests is Lady Bianca Baghetti, a puffed-up hanger-on from a disgraced minor house. That means the last dead asshole is Sub-Prefect Tors. No, I mean Tors is here. Good afternoon.
Oh joy, you've returned. Nothing in this... Well, I was checking. Nothing in the... Well, I was checking on the status. Ah, just when the...
Let's have it. There you are. Report. Don't look so slack-jawed. Who else were you expecting? I was delayed. A pity. Perhaps I might have averted a grisly thought. One I've already entertained. They are no more my people than you are. I watch them as Fenring commands, though their antics hardly inspire admiration. What manifest? Carthag. There it is. Motive. The killer is eliminating the survivors of old Carthag one by one. Revenge. Concealment. Or the quiet removal of a dangerous truth that could unpick alliances from here to Kaitane. Indeed. And if you've a name for the hand that signed that order, now would be the time to share it. There it is. Motive, opportunity, and means. Our assassin isn't merely killing, they're closing the book on Carthag. Yes. And how do you suggest I handle this? What have you learned of their methods? Then having failed here, where is our ghost's next haunt? Then I must go. To catch a killer. Don't be a fool. One sight of you and our ghost, as you call it, will vanish. Better you leave them to me. Yes, well, I never much cared for Cheops. There's nothing here. The killer saw us coming. Now the trail is cold, and we're going to have to report our failure to Count Fenring. You've been an adequate assistant. I'll put it all in my report. You can leave now and report back to whoever it is you report to. Stop! In spite of everything, the Master still wants you alive. To fulfill your mission. Find the Fremen. Wake the sleeper. I still recognize you. Even with this face. Even with this flesh. You move like you always did. Smile like you always did. Don't follow me. I have a mission of my own.
And if you get in my way, I'll put you down. We can always grow you again, after all.
Welcome. Would you like to deposit? How much Stellaris would you like to deposit? Welcome. Would you like to deposit? How much Stellaris would you like?